the untold story. It's the origins, it's the beginnings of a creature that we know so much about from the Bram Stoker story, but what we don't know is, well, what we might, a lot of people won't know, is where that creature began his life, and who was he before he became a vampire. And the man who inspired the whole thing was a man that walked this earth in the 1400s, called Vlad Dracul. Was a man who was a leader of a country, and a husband, and a father, and a defender of his land. And that's where we start the film.
And just to pick up with that, describe the story to us of the film of Dracula Untold.
So we meet Vlad in the very peaceful period of his reign. He's had some very turbulent past moments. He's lost his throne many times. He's been in prison 12 years. He was reared as a young boy by the Turkish Empire, which was his father's enemy, as a peace treaty to not invade his own country. He returns to his country after gaining a lot of bad traits from living with the Turks and training with the Turks. And he regains his throne, and he has a very peaceful period with his wife and son by his side, and a people that respect and adore him. And then the Turkish Empire, who are slowly invading Europe, which is a historical fact, at that time demand 1,000 janissaries, which were like, basically they would take the firstborn sons of the people of a country and train them up as fighters for the opposition. It used to happen. It happened a lot. And Vlad doesn't want this to happen, and he's left with very little option but to discover what this dark, ominous presence is up in this cave at the top of Broken Tooth Mountain. And this sort of sets the story up for a man having to delve into the darkness to find something, to do something good.
What did you enjoy most about playing Vlad?
I guess playing the whole spectrum of emotion, going from human to Dracula, and going from this loving husband and father to a ruthless warrior, and fighting for what he felt was right, but sacrificing almost everything, and in the end losing everything. And so it's a huge journey. And a man who's dealing with addiction, you know, he's drunk the blood of a master vampire. He's now, everything inside his head is telling him to drink more, but he knows if he does, then, you know, he's off the wagon in a sort of cold turkey scenario, you know?
What can audiences expect from Dracula Untold?
A story they wouldn't expect. It's a surprising, refreshing story on how the most famous vampire came to be. I didn't know it, and I don't think many people would. I think it's a really interesting story, and it's about a real human being. And whether you like what he does or you respect his decisions in the film, you'll relate to him. You'll relate to the relationship he has with his wife and his son and his people. It's anchored in a very sort of fundamental emotion that we can all experience in life, whether it's a large portion of it or a small portion. We'll all be able to relate to it. So it makes it a bit more complicated then as to who you should follow and who you want to support in the film. I think that's why it's interesting, and it pushes your buttons in a way that you're not going to expect.
It's an emotional roller coaster.
It is, yeah. Yeah, it was exhausting.
I can, and very physical too.
Very physical. I mean, I didn't stop. It was, the role needed it, and so I had to deliver it.
Thank you.